History is often seen as a long, slow-moving river, carving its path through time over decades, centuries, and millennia. We think of long reigns, protracted wars, and gradual social shifts. But what if I told you that sometimes the entire course of history can pivot on a single fleeting second? A moment so brief, it's barely a heartbeat, yet so powerful it can topple empires, ignite global conflicts, and forever alter the destiny of millions. Today, we're going to look beyond the long arcs of time and focus on the explosive, instantaneous moments that have ripped through the fabric of our world. These are the seconds that changed everything. We'll travel back to the moments where one decision, one mistake, or one fateful action sent shockwaves across the globe, proving that the future isn't always written in years, but sometimes in a single, irreversible instant. Let's begin in Sarajevo. June 28, 1914. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is visiting the city. Earlier that day, an assassination attempt had already failed. A bomb thrown at his motorcade bounced off and exploded under a different car. Shaken but determined, the Archduke decided to continue his visit, even changing his route to visit the wounded in the hospital. But a critical error in communication occurred. The driver of the Archduke's car wasn't informed of the new plan. He made a wrong turn onto a side street, right where one of the assassins, Gavrilo Princip, happened to be standing after the failed morning attempt. As the driver tried to reverse the car, it stalled. In that 1 second of stillness, Princip saw his chance. He stepped forward, raised his pistol, and fired 2 shots. One struck the Archduke, the other his wife, Sophie. Both were fatal. That single moment, born from a wrong turn and a stalled engine, was the spark that ignited the First World War. A conflict that would claim over 20 million lives and redraw the map of Europe. 1 second of chaos in Sarajevo plunged the world into 4 years of unimaginable devastation. Now, let's fast forward to the Cold War, a time of immense tension between 2 superpowers armed with nuclear weapons. The world lived under the constant threat of annihilation. On September 26, 1983, that threat became terrifyingly real. Inside a secret command center near Moscow, Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov was the officer on duty. Just after midnight, the alarms blared. The Soviet early warning system reported that 5 nuclear missiles had been launched from the United States. Petrov's orders were clear: report the attack to his superiors, who would then almost certainly launch a retaliatory strike. The fate of the world rested on his shoulders. But something felt wrong. The system was showing only 5 missiles. A full-scale attack, he reasoned, would involve hundreds. He also knew the satellite system was new and could be faulty. For agonizing minutes, with alarms screaming and lights flashing, he had to make a decision. To follow protocol or to trust his gut. He chose his gut. He reported it as a false alarm, a system malfunction. He waited, terrified he had made the wrong call. But no missiles landed. He was right. It was later discovered that a rare alignment of sunlight on high-altitude clouds had confused the satellites. In that moment of intense pressure, Stanislav Petrov's split-second decision to defy orders prevented a full-scale nuclear war. He is often called the man who saved the world, a title earned in a few terrifying seconds of calm judgment amidst pure panic. History is also shaped by mistakes, by moments where human error leads to catastrophe. On April 26, 1986, at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine, a routine safety test was underway. A series of miscalculations, poor decisions, and violations of safety protocols by the plant operators led to a sudden, catastrophic power surge in Reactor 4. In a fraction of a second, the reactor core exploded. Sometimes the world changes not with a bang, but with a click. The click of a camera shutter. On June 5, 1989, the day after the Chinese government's violent crackdown on protesters in Tiananmen Square, a lone, unidentified man did something extraordinary. He walked into the middle of a wide avenue and stood directly in the path of a column of advancing tanks. The lead tank tried to go around him, but he simply moved to block its path again. This tense standoff, a single anonymous man against the might of the state, was captured by several photographers. The most famous image, taken by Jeff Whittier, became an instant global icon of defiance. We don't know who Tank Man was or what happened to him. But in that moment, his silent, courageous act, frozen in time by a photograph, created one of the most powerful symbols of protest in the 20th century. It was a single, unplanned act of bravery that told a story more powerful than words ever could. inspiring people around the world to stand up for their beliefs against overwhelming force. Let's turn to a moment that reshaped modern politics. On November 22, 1963, President John F. Kennedy's motorcade was driving through Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas. The crowds were cheering, the sun was shining. Then, in a span of just a few seconds, everything changed. Shots rang out. The president slumped over in his seat. The world watched, first in confusion, then in horror, as the car sped away. The assassination of JFK, captured on the now famous Zapruder film, was a national trauma that unfolded in an instant. That single act of violence not only ended the life of a charismatic leader, but also shattered a sense of American optimism and innocence. It ushered in an era of conspiracy theories, political distrust, and social upheaval. The Camelot era was over, ended by a bullet in a matter of seconds. The political landscape of America, and indeed the world, was irrevocably altered by that one violent moment in Dallas. Not all history-changing seconds are violent. Some are moments of discovery. In 1928, the scientist Alexander Fleming returned to his laboratory after a holiday. He noticed something odd. One of his Petri dishes, which had been accidentally contaminated with a mold, had a clear ring around it where bacteria weren't growing. He could have simply thrown it out as a failed experiment. But in that second of observation, he realized he was looking at something profound. That mold, penicillium, was producing a substance that killed bacteria. That moment of discovery led to the development of penicillin, the world's first antibiotic. Before penicillin, a simple infection from a cut could be a death sentence. Its discovery revolutionized medicine, saving hundreds of millions of lives and making countless surgeries and treatments possible. It was a single, accidental observation, a second of scientific curiosity, that fundamentally changed humanity's relationship with disease. From the shot that started a world war, to the man who prevented another, to the explosion that poisoned a landscape and the image that defined courage. Time and again, history shows us its incredible fragility. It proves that the world we live in, the society we've built, can be transformed in the blink of an eye. These moments are a powerful reminder that while we often plan for the future in years and decades, it is the seconds that truly hold the power to change everything. They teach us about the profound impact of a single choice, the grave consequences of a single error, and the enduring power of a single act of defiance. The river of time may flow slowly, but it is punctuated by these explosive, world-altering waterfalls. Thanks for joining us on this journey through some of history's most pivotal seconds. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. Let us know in the comments which 1-second moment in history you think was the most impactful. See you next time.